Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsman's Direct. Did I say fishing report? I meant to say ice fishing report, because we are in March now, March 1st, and we still have ice, and we still have fishing, and it's not going away anytime real soon, but we do have some weather coming in that is going to start to change things around a lot. So on this coming Sunday, we're supposed to hit 60 degrees. That is most likely with the wind we're going to start taking a bite out of that ice thickness out there on the main lake. But until then, we've got some great fishing ahead of us, and even after then, we're probably going to have some great fishing. So here's the deal right now. So I'm shooting this video early this week because mostly because my cameraman is going to be tied up the rest of the week. But it also kind of made some sense. If you remember, I keep talking about riding these waves, right? Especially these weather waves coming in. And we've got a couple of significant ones. One of them is going to be tomorrow. So there is a front coming in tomorrow evening that is bound to trigger between now and then a pretty darn good bite, I would imagine, okay? So I can't promise that, but the way the patterns have been is there's going to be a bite, and it's probably going to be a shallow bite sometime tomorrow before that weather pattern comes in late in the afternoon. It doesn't look like a real strong pattern. Doesn't mean doesn't look like we're going to get a lot of rain or a lot of wind with it, but it is a front that's moving through that ought to get these fish going. The bite has been decent, but it's been kind of sporadic for you guys that have been out there. There's been a lot of little fish, especially at Metro. Some of the guys have gotten into some bigger fish, like Leo got into this monster 1.85 pound beast, and it's the second largest fish we had weighed in so far this year, but unfortunately it wasn't big enough for the free contest to bounce out that 1.95 pound Goliath that we had from last week. So we're definitely seeing some big fish coming in. I also had a much more respectable walleye for our walleye division in the free contest this week. Trevor got himself a 6.2 pound walleye. It was like 24.5 inches. Just a really nice, healthy specimen. And of course, he lost a bigger one at the hole out there, which, you know, it always happens when you get into these big fish. You don't land the biggest one normally. It's always a story about the one that got away, right? But 6.2 pounds, that's a much better fish to have up on the board. And if this ice can hold out here a little bit longer in the next couple of days, maybe we'll see a bigger one, because these fish are schooling up to come into the Clinton River. These are the Clinton River fish that are schooling up out there. I doubt these fish are going to go all the way up to the St. Clair River and spawn. These fish are out there in that bay, out by Metro and out by Anchor Bay, getting ready to come into the Clinton. So bound to be some bigger fish out there. We'll just see if any of you guys can hook one here before the contest ends on the 15th. So see what else do we want to talk about. So ice conditions out there. I was up at Selfridge, didn't shoot any pictures, but it's still the same. The ice is still out there. That ramp on this next warm-up is probably going to get blown out, especially if we get any heavy rain on this coming Sunday with those 60-degree temps. That ramp there will take a beating in a hurry, between the runoff and the water coming out from that drainage ditch and the warmer temps. So that may be all she wrote for that ramp. As of today, they were still getting machines on at Selfridge. Guys were still going out from Metro. And up at Fairhaven, the last I heard, they still had much bigger vehicles out there on the ice. But I'm sure that ramp it'll be the same thing with as much traffic as they've had on it. Once we get a good warm up, the guys with the machines are gonna bust that ramp up pretty good up there, and then that'll be it for getting machines on and off up there. But as of right now, there should be no issues going into this weekend, especially going into Saturday. The warm up we've got come in the middle of the week, like tomorrow. Isn't really going to do much because we've got lows in the teens every night after that going into Saturday. So going into Saturday, I mean, Saturday should be a really good day with that big front coming in on Sunday. So I talked about this front coming in here like tomorrow, right? Tomorrow afternoon. But the front we got coming in between Saturday and Sunday is going to be much more significant, which much stronger winds on Sunday. So the day you're really going to want to fish is going to be that Saturday leading up to that front coming in on Sunday. And the bite should get really good because that's going to be like, I think, one of the turning points weather-wise. Looking out in the extended forecast after that, we got more highs in the 40s, more seasonable highs. We're still going to have lows in the, making ice, or at least maintaining ice at night. But we're really going to start getting into more of a spring pattern, and we can expect that, right, going into the second week in March. So panfish fishing, no big reports of anything, although it's been kind of on and off in the canal behind the little store. And I would imagine that's just going to keep picking up. Now, the pumpkin seed bite, normally as we start to get into the later part of the season here, we start to lose ice. The pumpkin seed bite usually gets going big time in all the canals and back in Metro. That Metro Marsh area, if you guys are still fishing that Metro Marsh, you got to be really careful going back towards the back end, going back towards Jefferson. I did hear somebody went through back there, although he was way back, almost back by the cattails back there. These marsh areas are going to start to really warm up, especially on sunny days, because that dark bottom is like a big solar collector. And so the edges and the back ends of these marshy areas with the dark bottoms is going to start to go, and it's going to start to get really, really iffy. Other areas around Metro are going to hold up much better, but like the boat basin and over by the boat docks and those areas there, they're going to hold much longer. Black Creek, I would expect on the next warm-up, is going to open up pretty significantly, but this is all going to bring fish in, guys. This is that last ice that we all really kind of dream about, honestly, to have ice into March, where all these big spawners are out there and they're all going to come in, and it's going to be a melee here going into these at least the next week, maybe the next 2 weeks. The canals maybe even a little longer than that, but we still have a lot of lake ice out there. If you look at the satellite image out on Lake St. Clair, we've lost a little bit. It's kind of moved around a little bit out there, but no major changes to anything. We really haven't lost much more shore ice anywhere. Metro's still hanging on. There's a lot of ice out there between the Clinton River cutoff, boat launch, and all the way out to Metro. That ice still goes out as far as the eye can see as of right now. And the weather that we've got coming in the next couple of days is actually going to be an onshore wind, so it's going to actually push more of that floating lake ice that's out there in. It's not going to stick, and it's not going to freeze. It's not going to hold and make more ice, but it is going to buffer us for the next weather pattern after that, and not allow any big wave action to break anything up. So sorry, this is more of a ice report than a fishing report, but that's the way this gets kind of at the end of the year, whereas safety becomes more important. Probably then the fish is going to be there. I mean, the late season, the fish are going to be there. They're going to be in shallow. The bite's going to go. You just got to be there on the right day, and you're going to hammer them. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, as we lose more ice, it's just going to get better and better in tight. One reminder, though, for you guys, this is the time of the year when you want to start, if you're in going out with multiple guys, especially if you're going to areas you haven't been, recently, it'd be a really good idea for somebody to start carrying that spud bar out there, just to make sure you're not walking into areas that get iffy, or getting on and off, checking those edges and stuff to make sure it's strong enough. So that's about all I've got for you this week. I know it's a short one, but we'll see you in the store this weekend, and look for that Saturday bite to really pick up before this next front comes in. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.